2020 has been an unusual year for movies, to say the least, but that doesn't mean audiences haven't been treated to some outstanding cinema. These are our picks for the best films of 2020 so far. Suicide Squad wasn't exactly an auspicious first outing for Margot Robbie's portrayal of Harley Quinn, the Joker's violently psychotic girlfriend, but most critics agreed she was the best part of an otherwise not great film. Fortunately, 2020 gave Robbie and Harley a second chance, and they ran with it with Birds of Prey. The stylish superhero flick saw Harley at the center of a wild plot that led to the formation of an all-female team of vigilantes. Mary Elizabeth Winstead played the revenge-obsessed Huntress. A perfectly cast Rosie Perez joined in as Gotham City detective Renee Montoya, and Jurnee Smollett-Bell was the superpowered singer Black Canary.
Haircut?
Yeah.
Together, they worked to bring down a fantastically scenery-chewing Ewan McGregor as mobster Ronan Sionis, better known as Black Mask, who has some very strong reasons for wanting them all dead. In other words, it's an action comedy heist ensemble superhero movie, and it pulls off each piece of that very well. Birds of Prey scored pretty positive reviews from critics who loved the female-led action sequences and a tighter focus on Robbie's more fully developed Harley. With a potential sequel in the works, this hopefully isn't the last we've seen of Harley Quinn's solo exploits. If you're looking for a horror movie that combines cinematic scares and real-world dangers, 2020's all-new version of The Invisible Man is definitely for you. Based on a short story by H.G. Wells and starring Handmaid's Tale lead Elizabeth Moss, this thrilling take on the classic horror story focuses on Cecilia Cass, a woman trapped in a controlling and abusive relationship. When her boyfriend apparently ends his own life, Cecilia thinks she's finally free of him, until she starts seeing him again in terrifying visions. It seems that their story may not be quite over just yet. Critics praised the film's social message and depiction of abuse, as well as Moss's central performance, noting how well director Leigh Whannell succeeded at blending horror and real-life drama to tell a scarily engrossing story. The Invisible Man can be a tough watch, even for horror fans, but if you're up for it, it'll be worth it in the end. Jane Austen's work has been adapted for the screen repeatedly, from direct adaptations like Sense and Sensibility to modern takes like Clueless, and 2020 brought the newest spin on Austen's classic work, Emma, directed by Autumn de Wilde with split star Anya Taylor-Joy in the lead role. Emma, which is spelled with a period in its title to specify that the film is a period piece, uses whimsy and a lighthearted spirit to tell a familiar story. Emma Woodhouse seeks to find happiness for everyone she loves while neglecting her own romantic needs. But when she meets the enigmatic and handsome George Knightley, her prospects suddenly start to turn around. Sort of.
You danced with her and shown her kindness and took notice of her and done well and spoken farming.
With familiar British actors making up the supporting cast and de Wilde's steady hand behind the scenes, Emma proved quite popular with critics, and won over plenty of fans in the audience too. Whether you're a fan of Austen or new to the classics, everyone will find something to love within Emma. Nearly 20 years after Bad Boys 2 hit theaters in 2003, and over 2 decades after the first film was released in 1995, 2020 brought moviegoers the third movie in the Bad Boys trilogy. Naturally, the sequel saw Martin Lawrence and Will Smith reprising their roles as Miami cops Marcus Burnett and Mike Lowry. This time around, the film finds Mike sustaining a life-threatening injury, falling into a coma for months after an attack by cartel kingpin Armando as revenge for putting Armando's father in prison. When Mike recovers, he and Marcus set out to get revenge and blow up a whole bunch of stuff along the way. Though Bad Boys 2 received underwhelming reviews, and we're not sure audiences were really clamoring for another one, Bad Boys for Life was a return to form for over-the-top action. The newest film earned solid reviews across the board, and clearly, if Smith and Lawrence want to turn their trilogy into a full-blown saga, audiences and critics alike will welcome them back with open arms. Pixar has been making excellent, emotionally stirring, and visually stunning films for decades, so it's no surprise that their latest offering, Onward, is one of the best films of the year. With a voice cast that includes heavy hitters like Chris Pratt, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Tom Holland, and Octavia Spencer, Onward tells the story of 2 young elf brothers, Ian and Barley Lightfoot, living in a modernized fantasy world. Despite their very different personalities, they set out on a mission to find a magical artifact that they think could possibly bring back their father, who tragically passed away just before Ian was born. Together, they try to bring ancient magic to their world, hoping to see their dad for one more day.
I don't believe this. This spell brings him back. For one whole day, Dad will be back!
What? Back to life? That's not possible.
A tearjerker with plenty of heart, Onward shocked absolutely nobody by being yet another critical hit for the Disney-owned studio. With its quick release on Disney Plus after an abbreviated run in theaters, it's become an immediate family favorite, and for good reason. In the wake of Parasite's popularity and Academy Award-winning success, mainstream American audiences might be more willing to watch subtitled films. Anyone looking to explore more international cinematic efforts should definitely check out the historical drama Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which came out in France in 2019, but found fame with its international release this year. The film follows Marianne, a young painter, and Heloise, who is about to be married to a nobleman in Milan and needs a portrait painted. Typically, Heloise refuses to sit for any painter, but after forming a bond with Marianne, she agrees to sit for the portrait. And when Heloise's mother leaves the remote house, the two begin a passionate relationship. Thanks to the precise and careful direction and incredibly moving performances, Portrait of a Lady on Fire earned nearly universal acclaim as an emotional, gripping journey. If you want to transport yourself to France in a different time without even leaving your home, cue up Portrait and settle in for a truly moving and beautifully told love story. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.